One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we do have a quorum. I think given that it's 2:02, we'll go ahead and get started. I know Mike said he was a maybe. He had his family in town this week and his son is graduating. And then Michelle had something come up. She needs to drive her daughter somewhere. So Michelle's not going to make it, I don't believe. So I think we have most. Oh,
So,
there's
so
Dave.
Jackson, I have one request. Just because I'm working from town today and need to go get my son, so I probably need to drop off early. I can call back in from the drive out there if we need an extra vote at the end. But if if we can just bump that up to the beginning of the agenda, that would be fantastic. The election ratification.
Oh, sure. What time do you need to run, Jeff?
Well, probably like 2:30 or something at the latest to go get my
Okay, well,
son. But
we will, I'm going to share my screen with the agenda and we will um, tackle the elections after the GeoCon report back. I think that should still give you
yeah,
enough time, Jeff. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that works.
Awesome. Okay. Can everyone see the agenda okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Just making sure no one else is in the waiting room. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Good to see you after a month off. We have a fairly packed agenda. Obviously, we've had the elections happening recently, and we haven't convened since GeoCon. So I'll try to keep us on track here as we move through some items. But first up, in terms of board business, would be approving the minutes going back to our March 17th meetings. Hopefully, you got a chance to review those. So I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the March 17th board meeting minutes.
So we're obviously not counting April. We probably didn't take any minutes anyway.
Yeah, we did not take official minutes at the
Okay,
member meetup.
that's
Yep.
fine. I'll give a motion to approve March 17th minutes.
Thank you, Jeff. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Scale. All those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Okay. Minutes are approved. Thank you, as always, to Lauren for her hard work on those. Okay, so like I said, Michelle's not able to make it. She had something come up last minute, um, where she needs to drive her daughter somewhere. So she let me know she wouldn't be here, but I wanted to kick it over to the conference planning committee. So I think Jeff, we'll start with you if that's okay to give us a kind of a recap on GeoCon, and I listed the survey here. If you want to start with those survey results, fine, but I'll let you take it where you want.
Yeah, Gail, did you have your hand raised? Did you?
Oh no, I was just saying well done to Lauren.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was a clap.
Okay, so I'll take it away. Obviously Michelle's not here. She's dealing with something for it now, so might be short. She probably has some more to add, but we can probably. I mean, I don't think we have an official budget yet. Maybe Nick can chime in, but did we ever get the bill from Grouse Mountain? I saw the surplus in our net. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I think we did get something from Grouse Mountain. We got like a final bill, but then the itemized documents didn't quite add up. So Michelle's kind of working with them to
Okay.
get everything sorted. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it should be next month.
I plan on meeting with her, probably over the phone or whatnot prior to the June meeting just to sort things out. And I guess maybe Nick, you can maybe be part of that too if we
Sure.
have some discrepancies between our budget and the conference budget that Michelle kind of takes care of. So sometimes reconciling those differences can be difficult. Just, I mean, as you found out, those Affinipay, and all those kind of checks of what we have to pay out versus what we get in for all the registration can be difficult to sift through.
Yeah.
Okay. So we met last week. There's this probably small group of us that met to kind of go over the post-conference survey results. Some of you were part of that, so thank you for being part of the last meeting. for this year's conference. I think overall we received very good positive feedback. I think what the amount was for yeah, we got like a 81% excellent rating for overall. So I think that's pretty good. I don't think we got the best turnout for number of responses. I think we ended up getting, yeah, 48. I would have liked to seen that higher, but um what can you do, I guess? I mean we have the same result, the same with our election, and we don't get 100% participation, not even 50% participation. So but I think is a good capture of those that wanted to provide feedback to us. So I think usually it's a pretty good round survey of a collection of folks. Um, Obviously, the hit throughout the survey was John Nelson, the keynote. He did a fantastic job. One question that we need to remember to add back in there for 2027 is to rate the keynote. We took it out last year because for what happened to our speaker. I did mention it to Michelle. I think with her having to leave for Reno immediately after ours, she had to leave. She had a Friday morning flight to catch. I think that definitely didn't help. So I think remembering to do that, but we got good feedback, even though we didn't particularly ask for it. It was more or less just the generalization, and a lot of people put, John Nelson was great. So um, good feedback on to offer more variety for our workshops in the future. I think that was a good takeaway. Some good constructive feedback for Helen and for on the career early career student roundtable. Um, we got an average rating for a decent amount of folks for our Tuesday sponsor showcase and also the exhibitor hall space. I think with both of those, I mean, I think we tried to do the best we can with for both those spots, especially our vendors, our exhibitors. That was probably the best space for them, given the small amount of space we did have for that hotel. So some of this stuff is kind of you take it with a grain of salt, but kind of just move it forward to next year and try to do better for our members. Um, we had 65% of our survey responders not even attend the Esri Learning Lab. I think there is some constructive feedback with what we got from those that did attend, or maybe it popped in and seen, what they didn't have to offer, and that was, more or less more, new content, maybe new software. So I think there's a couple things I'm going to try to relate to our Esri rep, our account rep, to see if they can provide feedback to the Learning Lab folks, and maybe that's something that he can do, maybe not, but I would imagine at some point they have to turn those courses over at some point. So I popped in there for a brief moment, a couple different times. And Michelle will say this too. There was typically only like one person in there. And I think I did get the counts. There was like eight or nine, um, not necessarily unique logins, but there was eight or nine. Oh yeah, eight or nine unique logins on the first day, and then about 13 or 14 the next day. Feedback from the instructor that was manning the lab did say that several people did come back. So I should follow up and get actual numbers, because there was several of them that logged in several times. So that was at least good to hear that it was useful for some people to continue to use it throughout the conference. So, but I think it's also a hard place to have it as well is during the Wednesday and Thursday, but I don't know when else we would do it. We we didn't really have the space to do it during our workshops. So maybe there's room for improvement. Maybe having it on Tuesday if people are there, but they're not taking a workshop, maybe there's more people that would take advantage of it. We just didn't have the space this year, but we will next year. Um, yep. So positive feedback about the staff. I thought Michelle will attest to this as well. This was probably the best event staff to work with. So we got good comments about the facility being really great as well. And I think just having it in Whitefish was cool too. Being able to go downtown and having it so close to downtown I think the atmosphere with that was was very cool. Um, our total workshop numbers was 167. So, and some of those attendees took multiple workshops, if not like ones on all 3 days. There was some people that took workshops in all 3 days. 215 was our final registration number. We had 18 sponsors this year, one diamond, six golds, 10 silvers, and one bronze. And then we had 20 submissions total for web maps and posters. I thought this was fantastic. 12 of them were posters, eight of them were web maps. So very, I think we did a very well job of kind of rebranding that. And a lot of people, this wasn't a particular question either. I wish it was. But there was a lot of good feedback. Those that did comment that liked having it Wednesday morning, the kind of the showcase of the web maps. So I thought that was an interesting new addition to our conference. So
I'll just add it was a little scary too.
that's the other thing I was thinking of too, is like maybe we'll get
Yeah.
less submissions because we'll scare people away.
It was good that I didn't know that ahead of time.
Would that prevented you from submitting then, Lauren?
Mayhaps.
Perhaps. So, um, I don't have anything else unless other board members have comments about the conference.
Yeah, I'll just open the floor. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah,
Yeah.
really successful conference. I got personal just feedback that was given me personally while I was there. It was all positive. But I'll just open the floor for any comments, ideas, and this also I think bleeds over into the member meetup. So I apologize. I was not strategic enough on capturing notes from that. I should have had a system for us to capture some of that feedback from the roundtable session. So. We can use this time if there was something you heard at a table and you were chatting with the members that you'd like the board to know, us to think about going into this next year with a new board. Please feel free to speak up now and voice some of that. So we have a few minutes here. So anyone that would like to chime in, you're welcome to.
I think one comment that me and Dave got that was kind of interesting. One of them was more workshop variety, and then another comment was they asked if when we share a open position on the listserv, if we would require it to have the salary listed. And I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And maybe, less positions get sent out through the listserv, but maybe we could push for, or that could cause some more like transparency to move through the field, I guess, in Montana. And I thought that was an interesting idea.
Nick, I guess within the message itself, I mean, because a lot of times they're buried in that link.
I think just like if you go to the job listing through the link and it doesn't have the salary, then we would not send it out. And we can make that known to the people who want it sent out.
It's interesting if that could be somehow fed into the salary survey that we do. You know what I mean? Like maybe we could somehow track that and
Track open positions that we've seen throughout the year.
yeah, or the positions that are being submitted. This was the salary range.
Hmm.
Yeah, good comment. And just following up on Jeff's review here, it was really great conference. Venue was good, staff was very helpful and friendly. All those good things. I mean, it's kind of funny because I think we all say this after every conference, like they all tend to be really good. But no, this was notably very pleasant, very pleasant. Probably the one thing I noticed was I liked sort of the intimate space. But being in Whitefish, we got some interesting people that would have not come by otherwise.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, there's also people who didn't come because it was far away,
Yeah.
right? So there's always a mixture of
Yeah.
that.
I was surprised by the number of folks that came over from Billings. Like I think there was at least 4 or 5 city Billings folks that made the drive. That is not the case when we go to Billings. We see less, if not nobody from Kalispell
right?
area. So that's something to at
Yeah.
least take away. That shows the support within the Billings community to MAGIP.
What, along those lines, what I thought was interesting, Western Montana, it has a different economic flavor than Billings.
Hmm.
And there were a lot of, forestry professionals that came
Yep.
because they were local.
Yep.
So, you know, maybe we'll get more agriculture people when we're in Billings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyone else? Open mic for comments that you received or your personal feedback on the conference.
Hey, one guy told me that, we were talking about the raising money for scholarships, and he thought like uh, not a raffle, but more like what do you call that? Fast talker, where you're selling stuff. Um,
Oh, the live auction.
Auctioneers.
yeah,
Auctioneer.
like an auctioneer, right? Maybe we could transition Brian into that. Going once, going twice. Here we go.
Brian would be a good if he can do the fast,
Yeah.
whatever you call that, he would be a good auctioneer.
Right. Yeah.
Marls does a fantastic job with their silent and their live auction, but it's also a ton of work, and it would just
Oh
not
yeah.
work. It would just not work as well for makeup. So it's like, oh my goodness, I would love to try some sort of auction, but it's a lot of
But
work.
it would be, it could almost be like a sort of an amusing event kind of a thing one night.
Yeah, Marls does get that way, but they have a lot of cool things that get donated, and it really comes back to your donations.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any burning thoughts? This is the peril of not meeting and immediately after the conferences. Some of it has gone in one ear and out the other, unfortunately.
I've been a part of both though. I've been part of boards that we've met Friday after the conference. It's exhausting Rob knows it's exhausting to meet on a Friday immediately after. I mean, I can see the week after or something, but yeah, it's a lot to process. You really don't have any of the numbers back. You can't talk about the post-conference survey. Nothing. So it's like Friday after the conference, might as well might as well just use that to just drive home.
Yeah.
Relax.
That's about all we're good for.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
but yeah, I think we had really good energy at this conference and great participation. People stuck around for the poster session and networking on Tuesday, and the meetup was really well attended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the social
I was
events were well attended.
I was
Yeah.
surprised how many people stuck around for that final drawing. I mean, I think we were hoping to maybe just keep the setting, with the wall split or not split up, but we had to open the wall. I mean, that room was still full, um, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and the quality of the prizes was really good.
Yeah,
So Jeff, I'd say kudos to the committee for
yeah, that
getting
was
some
Colin and
quality.
Salita there, so thank you to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, if there are no other thoughts, thanks again to you, Jeff, for all your hard work and everyone who pitched in. I think we all pitch into GeoCon in little ways and large.
Yeah,
So
and
thank you to everyone.
I want to say one other thing too. Thank you everyone for those kind of messages on that thank you card. Thank you. I waited and I wasn't sure what to expect when Jackson handed me that card. I waited until after I got home. I'm glad I did. I got home late Friday. Um, Definitely brought me to tears, and I thank you and love you all.
Oh, so sweet. Sorry I was late, everyone, by the way.
No
It's all
problem.
good. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. We couldn't do it without you. So another year in the books. Jeff, do we want to plug next year? So it's the same week. It's April 12th through the 17th in Great Falls
Great
next year, right?
Falls.
Yep, at the Heritage.
Yeah, I helped plan the last time it was in Great Falls in 2016 before it was Big Sky GeoCon. So circles back around. So I'm glad well, we're about to ratify the results, but if you guys will have me
Yep.
another year, you're stuck with me.
Stuck is not the right operating word there, Jeff. Uh, okay, so Jeff, and then the conference planning committee is going to takes a couple months off, and you all circle back up
Yeah, probably
in August
October.
or something, or
Probably
October. Okay,
October, yeah. I,
okay.
I think Michelle was a little aggressive with the whole September August thing, but we will be meeting. Michelle and I are probably going to be meeting at a facility for 2027, and we're probably going to try to tie it into to our June board meeting. But we're looking at Butte for 2027, so at least preliminarily. So we're possibly
That's the
going to.
best news of the day. I've been wanting Butte for ages.
Yeah, it's time for it to go back to Butte. So yeah.
Cool, great stuff. Okay, well, we're gonna shift an agenda item, and we're gonna move up the election discussion. In the sake of time here and to make sure we have a full quorum for the vote. So, Gail, if you're ready, I will pass the baton to you to walk us through the election results.
I am ready. And just full disclaimer, I'm having some issues with my Wi-Fi. So if I disappear, I promise I'll log back in. But sometimes everybody freezes and I'm like, is it them? Is it me? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I get kicked out. So I do have a question. I don't recall an election where we've had as many people on the ballot, whether or not we disclose the number of votes or if we just disclose the winners. How does that work? Anybody
I
have an
don't, I
opinion?
don't think we need to disclose the number of votes.
Perfect.
I think
I
we've
think the
done
way.
I think we've done both, but yeah.
Okay. I feel more comfortable not disclosing, but so yeah, so just to remind everybody, for vice president, president, past president, we had Liz Jers on the ballot and Alexa Morris. And the winner is Liz Juris. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. It's Juers, for vice president, president, and past president. For the web administrator, which is a 2-year term, it was Megan Burns and John Maloney. And Megan, she knows this already because she actually sent me the ballot numbers. So thank you, Megan, and congratulations. Um, for the member development chair, Helen ran unopposed, and of course she won. And Jeff, you also ran unopposed and won. So thank you, everybody. That I feel like this is just such a strong indicator of what a great team this is, that you would all want to come back and do this again. Yeah. So. Again, Liz Jers is your new vice president, Megan, web administrator, Helen, member development chair, and Jeff is the conference liaison. The only other question I have before we move on to ratifying them, again, I don't believe that, well, this is the first time I'm past president and run this, and I was hoping that Mike would be on the call. I feel like there's a letter, Megan, maybe you know this, that's on Wild Apricot. That's like a letter to I notify people that didn't win the election. I can make something up.
Yeah, I think it's just been pretty ad hoc. I don't think there's anything formal. But
Okay.
yeah, once we
Okay.
ratify the results, we like to let everybody know what's coming up next, or if they,
Uh,
yeah.
Gail,
Okay.
how many votes did we get?
Uh, so gosh, you're gonna make me do the math. Hold on just a second. 24 and 53 is 77. Is that right? So the most votes that we got for one particular position was 77. Yep. And then on the other one, also 77. Yep. 77 on all of them. I guess I should have gone to the easier ones.
The
So
one, the unopposed, yeah.
I know the unopposed, right? Yeah. So 77 people voted, which is, I think, a really good turnout for an election, but
Yeah.
maybe you guys have other insight on that,
That's
Jeff and
that's
Megan.
fantastic. That seems like a
Yeah.
lot more than the last time.
Yeah.
Also, sorry I don't have my video on. I had to take Lady Bark out for a walk.
Well, I think it's the
Uh,
first time we've had a runoff and vice president in a long time as well. I think Jenny Conley
Yes.
and Mike Kruger and like 2019, 2020 were the last ones, or whatever whatever date that was. I think it was the year after I ran or something like that. But yeah, that was the last time I think we had a runoff and vice president. So, and was the vote close too?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah. For the VP president, past president, the vote was pretty close. Yeah. So cool.
well,
Well done.
I hope that Alexa and whoever was running for web administrator run for some of the other positions next year because I love seeing more people jumping in to run for positions, especially given that it was a little hard to find our fabulous President Jackson a couple years ago. So yeah, maybe in your very lots of encouragement in your letter, Gail, letting them
Yeah,
know they didn't win.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel like Alexa would definitely be willing to run again. And for those of you that don't know, John Maloney moved into Jeff Sprock's position in Billings, and he actually is, I think, he's a developer, not necessarily a GIS person, but really interested in being involved in MAGIP, and I know that Jeff really enjoyed his time when he was president and vice president. I know he had to step out because of his responsibilities, but they've always been really supportive. So I think that, yeah, they would hopefully be willing to run again next year.
Yeah, I was going to make that same comment that Helen did, Gail. If I would, I think the having multiple candidates is another indicator that we have a lot of positive momentum that came out of this year's conference and the work that MAGIP's done over the last year. Um, but I can't imagine being in the shoes of someone who ran and didn't make it. That might be discouraging. So I do think we should encourage and offer them opportunities to participate this upcoming year because there are other opportunities, whether that's conference planning or organizing meetups or what have you. So I
Ooh,
would,
yeah, conference planning. Maybe we say we would love it if you join the conference planning committee so we can all get to know them too.
yeah,
mhm.
yeah. Just keep that energy, kind of harness that energy that they have. They obviously wanted to be involved, right? Or they wanted to put their name
Yeah.
in the hat. So
Yeah, you know what I might do if everybody's okay with it is I'll put together an email and then send it to the board to have everybody give me feedback. I don't feel like this has to be sent right now. But definitely if you could respond within, by the end of the day tomorrow, and then I'll get them sent tomorrow at the end of the day after. How about we say if you would like to provide feedback, give it to me by 4:30 tomorrow. And then I'll wordsmith it, right? But I agree with everybody that this energy is really awesome and to be celebrated, right? And I think that it's definitely um, something we want to continue with. So yeah.
yeah,
So
thank you, Gail, for overseeing the
yeah,
elections. It might be worth, Gail. I haven't looked in the drive. It might be worth just looking there to see if there was any sort of template. I'm not sure if there is or not, but
yeah.
just in case it
Mike
can save
usually
you some
has a
time.
template. Yeah. Mike usually
Yeah.
has a template, but it depends because, to Jeff's point, we haven't had a lot of elections that have had multiple candidates recently. So if there is something, it's probably a little older.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Okay.
Okay, so is there any other housekeeping on elections we need to do, Gail, or can we move towards a motion to ratify the results?
No, we can move towards a motion to ratify the results.
Okay, I'd put out a call for that motion to ratify the 2026 MAGIP board election results.
I'll make a motion to ratify the election results. Miss Helen.
Thank you, Helen.
I'll
Can I have a
second.
second?
I'll second. Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. All those in favor of ratifying the results, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Okay, the results are in. Awesome. Thanks again. Super exciting. Um, okay, so now we're kind of skipping around the agenda. So going back to some member and committee reports. I know we briefly touched on the budget earlier, Nick, and I can pull it up as well. But I'll kick it over to you to talk budget versus actual reports.
Sounds good.
Or do you have it up? Do you
I
want to share it?
do. I do. Where's yeah.
Let me stop sharing.
Sent a request.
Try it now. You should be good.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah, hopefully everybody had a chance to review this.
It's not
Like
showing
Jeff,
yet, Nick.
no.
Different screen, maybe.
Oh, I missed that. How's that?
There we go. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, like Jeff said, definitely like a successful conference financially. Um, we are coming pretty close to our budgeted goal for registration, and I think we have a few more payments that need to be settled. So it looks like we're going to hit that number. Sponsorships were great. Workshops were a bit lower this year, but I peaked back at 2025, and we actually had a higher net revenue on workshops this year, just with so many people signing up for John Nelson's workshop and it being at cost. So definitely less signups for like GTS and David Howe's workshops. But I just wanted to point that out. So that just shows as revenue here, and then the fees line here shows what we pay out to the like for-profit workshop instructors. So even though we didn't have as many people, we still did good financially there. Yeah, and then still waiting to get like a finalized invoice from Grouse Mountain. And I think once we have that, I'd like to get moving on a new CD investment next month once the dust kind of settles. Um, and then I also mentioned a couple months ago that I'm going to be leaving for about 6 months, and that'll start in August. And I think that the vice president role is the most appropriate to take over my responsibilities while I'm gone. And I'm happy to discuss this further as a group. But I think when I go to the bank to set up the CD, it'd be nice to have a document to hand them to add Liz as a probably the key executive and a signer for the account. So, any questions or comments on that?
Nick, is that something we could finalize at the June meeting? When do you leave?
It'll be in August.
Oh,
So
you
yeah,
leave now. Okay, sorry, you
yeah,
just said
yeah.
that.
No, we have
Okay.
time.
Yeah, I think if we introduce it to Liz and see if she's comfortable, we can probably settle that at June or July meetings.
Cool.
Where are you going for 6 months?
I'm going to Southeast Asia. My
Wow.
girlfriend and I, we're just gonna hang out and do some diving and eat good food and
And
yeah, yeah.
mapping, duh, you have to do some mapping.
I
You'll do some
think
mapping,
I
obviously.
yeah, I'll be on the lookout for opportunities for sure. So
Wow, so cool. Thanks for sharing that. All right. So
Nick, well, first of all, is there any questions on GeoCon specific revenue or expenses for Nick?
That's a pretty big difference of what we paid out last year versus this year to GTS and David Howe's. It's
yeah,
reflective in the numbers for sure, but yeah,
it
it's
was
kind of
nearly
eye-opening though.
half. Yeah, it was nearly half this year for both of them.
So
Um,
there is the theory there that John's workshop possibly cannibalized folks from going to
That's
these
part
other
of it.
work.
That's
Okay.
part of it. but you also saw lower numbers on Monday, so I think the location kind of drove that factor. I think it being in the central part of the state, I think that should drive our Monday numbers back up. And then hopefully that also drives our Friday numbers up too. I think in Helena we had 25 folks on Friday. We only had, I think, 8 or 9 folks that stuck around for Friday's workshops. So this is definitely kind of a skeleton crew, but there was still a lot of people left over on Friday, but they were leaving that morning or early afternoon, like John Nelson was. So
Yep. Any other questions for Nick on GeoCon financials? Okay, Nick, is there further down the budget we need to discuss or not really?
Um, I don't believe so. Yeah, I
what
think I mentioned a couple months ago we paid our insurance and got that renewed. And
what
then
what do you what do you anticipate paying out for the facility? I was just curious about where that came in and what we were expecting.
I caught a glimpse of space rental and food, and it was about 44,000
Yeah,
total.
that's about
Um,
right.
so food and yeah. So yeah, maybe I need to double check that. And that wasn't like a finalized invoice. So
I wouldn't be surprised. Michelle even said this too. The food was m much more expensive than we have paid in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 30,000 of it is food alone. So I think you're right on with
yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
And then who knows where they charged us for like audio visuals. I mean, if anyone can predict any sort of miscellaneous charges that we'll ever get, that's always the unknown of going in. But like, who knows? Budget pass.
Right,
Throw a number in
right.
there.
Yeah.
So, Nick,
Um,
is it too early to say ballpark expenses versus revenue? Is it too early to say that?
mm,
I think Michelle was projecting around 15-20,000 in the black.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I couldn't tell you just with GeoCon alone, um, right now.
No
But
worries.
I
Yeah.
think, I mean, yeah, when I get those numbers, I can add them in here and I can send out. It'll definitely be before next month, but if people are curious, as soon as Michelle gets me that, um, I can send that out.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, and then the one other thing, um, we sent out our 3 higher ed scholarships and our K through 12 grant last week. So that's another item that'll fill in for
Yep.
this year. So
Yep. Really pleased about that. Also, I just, we talked that we would roll whatever we didn't distribute in towards next year rather than blanking it out.
I think so, yeah.
Right. So, so,
Yeah.
so there was one education. We think we had enough for 2 education grants. We only awarded one. So I'd like to just make sure that we take the difference and are able to carry that forward, for our long-term uh, reservoir.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, per usual, I think, we use June, that longer meeting for the budget conversation. So I think we can hammer out the details on that there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll leave a note.
Great, really good. And also, I think both of you, Jackson and Nick, and also Aaron Vaughn, you know, said they'd be willing to work with me on some of our plans for the long-term fund. Let's make time for that too, especially if we need to go through the, 501(c)(3) organization thing. I imagine that'll take a little bit of time, and I'm happy to start working on it whenever we're ready.
Yeah, definitely a conversation we should keep moving forward.
Okay, good.
See you,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Should we plan on carving out time for our in our June meeting for that, and maybe me and Robin Jackson and whomever else kind of put some work into getting something to at least
Yeah,
I,
discuss for that meeting.
yeah, definitely. I'll coordinate with Mike because that'll I actually think I'm going to be on work travel, so but that'll be Mike's first official meeting as president. Obviously, he served as president
Right.
already, but I'll coordinate with him on the agenda and make sure it's on there.
okay. Yeah, and I think Liz will be great in that
Yep.
filling coming into that role also, especially overlapping with the treasurer part.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks for making
Great.
time for that.
Hmm.
Yep. And thank you, Nick. Any final budget related questions for Nick before we move on? Okay. These reports are stored in the drive, so you can peruse them at your to your heart's content at any point. For the spreadsheet nerds in the room. Okay, so sharing the agenda back quickly. Eric, can we get a quick MGAC update?
Yes, we can. So our last meeting, as you know, you were there, I believe. No, did you make that one? Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
okay. Give me a moment. Hold on. It always ends up this way. Microsoft decides that right in the middle of some meeting, I need to do I have to reauthorize my request to stay signed in. So there we go. Okay, got it. We met April 23rd. Council met April 23rd. Its main primary thing was the approval of those grants, and I think we talked about those grants previously. And so the fiscal year 27-28 MGA grant funding, we pushed forward. We had our prioritization of the grants. I don't have them in front of me right now. You can go to the council website and see those that were approved. But they approved, and then later on, the state library the state library commission met, and those grants were then also approved by the state library commission. I attended that meeting. That was May 6th, I believe, that meeting. And with the State Library Commission approving what the council recommended, that means those grants are going to be funded. And so the state library will be reaching out to all the recipients to start getting them to roll forward and start rolling out with their projects. So we had a great grouping of projects we had a lot of next gen. We had some PLSS ones. So I think we had a lot of folks applying for the money, and so that was a positive, and so that was good to see. Uh, let's see. Erin went over her usual things of the fiscal year quarterly reports as well as the MGIA collections. I don't know if you're not aware, the state library has a really nice MGIA collections dashboard on their website that allows you to see how your respective counties are doing in terms of recordation and then the amount of money that's being approximately collected based on those filings that are occurring within the county. So let's see. NISJIC mid-year, they had a chance to meet with our congressional members. Yeah, I know they still have an opening, a vacant position for the private business person as well as tribal. So if you guys know anyone, maybe an opportunity to reach out and see if there's some folks that might like to put their name in the hat for council. So I don't know. Rose Jackson, do you have anything?
I don't think so. I attended the meeting, as Eric mentioned, on the 23rd last month, and I did express on behalf of MAGIP our gratitude for the state library being a platinum sponsor this year and for all their participation in GeoCon. They really contributed in so many ways. With they had an award, we had an award winner, we had talks, and then the sponsorship. So it's a
Yeah.
really great partnership.
Yeah. Oh, and then I'll add, and I see you do have it on this agenda, but our next meeting is June 18th. That'll be a business meeting and working session. I think they're trying to do it. I think they're going to focus on it being. They'd like to have us in town more, but we have so many council members coming from far away that the expense on funding some of that. The travel budget has taken a hit for council, so that'll probably be in Helena, but also online as well. So.
Yep, and if you would like to listen in on those meetings, it's always linked in our agenda here. So if you click on that link under MGAC, it takes you to their website, and there is a Zoom link there if you'd like to
Yep.
attend that. Yep. Okay. Any questions for Eric on MGAC developments? Okay. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, so I think that concludes the kind of major business items that I had on the agenda. Just wanted to talk about next month's June meeting, which is an in-person board meeting. We're going to hold that again in Bozeman this year. And Helen, did we get confirmation? Can we use the conference room at your co-working space?
Yeah, we can. I just need to know what day, and I do think it seats about 10 people. There's somebody in there right now. I was literally about to double check. But I think we can definitely use it. Like, I just need to reserve it right now. So once let me just double triple verify the number of seats that it has in there today, and then I'll text you, Jackson, and then I can reserve it. But what day is our in-person meeting here in June?
Yeah, so unless there's a majority of folks that have a conflict for some reason, we'll keep it on that same third Tuesday of the month. So that would be June 16th. And last
Okay.
year, if you remember last year, we carved out a little more time for that meeting. So we typically will do like a 10 to 2 over lunch where
Uh-huh.
we bring lunch in. So Helen, is it available
Yeah,
that day?
I'm pretty sure nobody books it out that far, but I can look right now and check it out. 1 sec. By right now, I mean 1 minute or so.
Yeah, no problem. While she does that, is there anyone that has, you can let me know later, it doesn't have to be right now, but anyone that would not be able to attend on that Tuesday, June 16th? Okay, I'm hearing silence, which is good. I might be one of the only ones. I'm actually going to be doing UAV training in Mentor, Ohio that week. Is out of my control on the scheduling. So I think I will unfortunately not be there, but obviously that's Mike's first meeting as president, and he's been with MAGIP, so he knows how things go. So I'll help him get prepared for that. So I will circulate. I'll send out both an announcement as soon as we get off this call, or not an announcement, an email invitation, I should say, and some details. But yeah, block out your calendar that day from 10 to 2, and I'll obviously share an agenda as we get closer as well. Any questions about June? We'll have lunch per usual. So plan on Majip buying lunch, so you don't need to work that in. Okay, great. We have a few extra minutes. Any other new business that any board members want to bring to the table? Now is your time. Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna finish early, which is always great. So yeah, look for more details on the June meeting. Helen and I'll share some information on that. And otherwise, I might not see many of you till July. So have a great first couple months of summer here. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All
See
right.
ya.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.